Today, we're rebuilding carbs. We're working on Yamaha factory carburetors from Mikuni. These are dual 38 carburetors. We're gonna set these up for a Superjet 701 with a B-pipe and a head mods that everybody does, like really common. It's what I run. Just the right amount of performance and a ton of reliability. So these are some used grimy carbs. We're gonna clean them up, put some brand new parts in them from Mikuni. We got fresh kits here. And while we're at it, I'm gonna show you guys how to use a Popoff tester. Let's get into it. Now that those are clean, this is your throttle wheel. Behind it, the idle speed adjustment screw. Behind this plate is where you're gonna find diaphragms and your jets and your needle and seat. Just on the outside of that, you see this carb setup has T-handle screws. This is your high-speed adjustment screw. And over here is the low-speed adjustment screw. It's easy to remember because the high one's high and the low one's low. So same over here. Here's your high. There's your low. On the back side, you have your fuel pump, and on this one, there's only one fuel pump, and it just has this plate which has a restrictor in here. You see the diaphragm we had to remove. Right here, you have your rocker, and beneath that on this side is your needle and seat. And so when this gets depressed, the needle lifts up and lets more fuel in. And the diaphragm has this red little button that pushes on that spot. Behind these two screws is our high-speed and low-speed jet. So we're gonna get in there next. You can see right up here, this is our high-speed jet, the big one, the big hole, and down in this one here is our low-speed jet. And here is the seat. It's okay to grab on this outside diameter, but you don't want to scar the inside. That's everything from this side. I'm going to flip it over and take apart this side. This is your internal fuel filter. Sometimes these can get clogged with gunk and give you problems. And that's all that came out of this side. Remember I was talking about a restrictor? In here, there's a really small hole. That can get clogged and give you problems. So you need to make sure that that has a nice little opening, just like that. There's our high-speed adjustment screw. And the low speed adjustment screw. Yuck. Initially, when I pulled this open, you could just tell that some of the stuff is just kind of dirty. There's a little plastic flap here, and you can see that there's like literally grime underneath of it. So we need to get that cleaned up. And there's just grime just kind of in there. When I pulled out the T-screws, you can see that these O-rings are like really flattened, and this low speed one is so nasty. Ugh. So we gotta clean that up. And this is a common one. This needle has a little rubber tip on it. And what can happen over time is that rubber actually wears out, and you can see how this one has a little step in it. It's not just a perfect cone, it has a little groove. That's gonna affect how this needle is operating in the seat. So generally, it's recommended that if you get this problem, you need to replace your needle and seat as a pair.
Now I can go ahead and just clean up every little orifice of the carburetor. I like to use a Q-tip, and here I'm using a little foam brush to just kind of clean all the surfaces and get into all the little small pockets where debris could accumulate. I blow all the holes out with compressed air just to make sure that anything that's in there can kind of get dislodged and come out.
So looking down the low speed screw, you can tell it's pretty gummed up. And I kind of figured it would be just based off of how this screw looks. So I got to spend a little time cleaning that up. So when you're working on your carburetors, I think it's really important to stay clean. So I have this cookie sheet where I'm doing all my cleaning and stuff, and when I'm done, I have a clean cookie sheet ready to install the new parts. Just a heads up, these kits are generic for all the different sizes of Mikuni carburetor, and there's gonna be extra parts. So when you open it up, don't be alarmed. We need a new internal fuel filter. And I'm just gonna drop it in there right away. And then we need this gasket. That's gonna fit right there. If you're planning on making jetting changes or needle and seat changes or pop-off changes, spring changes, anything that has to do with tuning, it's going to happen right now. And I have always had really good luck with the Jet Maniac settings. It works great for a Superjet with a B-pipe and a head. So that's what I run. I'm not going to tell you what to do. Go ahead and put our high-speed jet in. Then you're going to put your low speed jet in. And we need to replace this. There's a little check valve on this guy. Piece of clear plastic there. There it is. Do your best to clean this surface, but you really don't want to scratch it. This one's pretty old, so some of that stuff just might not come off. The holes on this aren't in line, so it is directional. Okay, when you have it right, it should be just centered, covering the big hole. Go ahead and drop this block right on top. I have a brand new needle and seat, and they come in this little bubble thing. You just gotta peel it out of there. So you can see where it says the number. This is a 1.5 right there. And there's a brand new needle. You can see that perfect cone shape. So we'll reuse the seat retainer and the screw and put the seat in. Slide your new needle in there. And we're going to go ahead and put a new rocker arm, pin, and spring in here. So put your spring in the hole. I leave the screw just in there, but loose, so you can kind of get everything at an angle, and you can see how I've hooked it through the needle little clip there. And then when this gets pushed down flat, everything should rock perfectly. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten this screw. I actually noticed that rod wasn't sitting flat over here. Now it looks a lot better. So you really want to make sure that this rod going across isn't sitting at like an angle. It needs to be sitting flat. Sometimes it could get caught on the edge, and that'll make your ski run real rich. Next, I'm going to put the high speed and low speed screws in. We're going to replace these two O-rings. We got new ones in the kit. And you can tell they're just slightly different sizes, so you want to make sure that you don't get them mixed up. The low speed gets the bigger O-ring. Go ahead and tighten this all the way down till it stops. Should just gently come to a stop. There we go. And I'm going to back this out one turn. Now we'll do our high speed. Get a new O-ring on there. And I'm going to tighten it all the way down until it gently stops. There we go. And I'm going to back this one out 1.5. That'll be my starting point. All that's left for us to do on this one would be to install our diaphragm and a cover plate, but I am going to show you how to test Popoff, so I'm going to leave those off for right now. So this is what we're left with. This stuff you can just toss, and if you're like me and hoard spare parts just in case you break down on the beach, you might hang on to some of these things. I'm going to quickly repeat the process on this carb, but then I'm going to show you the details on the fuel pump side. This carburetor didn't look nearly as dirty as the other one. We still need to clean it up, but the thing that was most concerning was this diaphragm looks pretty wrinkly. Go ahead and loosen these 4 bolts. Just gonna lay this out one piece at a time. So this pulse block has 2 things going on it. It's got a rubber gasket and then a plastic one. It's actually a plastic diaphragm. So set that down. Then this block has O-ring and then these 2 check valves, and this gasket came with it. stack those up the same way they came off. And then we're back to what we had in the last one, our internal fuel filter. And our O-ring gasket, custom. Okay, that side's apart. We can go ahead and fully clean this just like we did the other side. Now that that side's done and we have our screws in, I'm going to do the fuel pump side. Starting off the same way, we're going to put the new fuel filter in and our new gasket. So on this diagram, it has listed for the 44 and the 38, but there's some stuff that's not used on a 38. So I kind of highlighted the things we have and use, and that's the screws, the pulse block, then there's these two, this one's a rubber piece, this one's a plastic piece, and then you move over and then you have the O-ring, the fuel pump check valve block, and then all this this rubber gasket, and then back onto the carburetor. So going in reverse order, I have a rubber gasket, this one here, that needs to go on there, and that gets replaced. So I'm going to pull that out of the kit. We need to replace these check valves and this O-ring. Pull your O-ring out. Now the tricky thing is the check valves. There is a special tool that they sell, and you should absolutely read the back side of this where it talks about how to install these and what to do. So look over that. But I'm going to push these out. Go ahead and clean this block up. Now for the hard part. You need to get the new discs installed with the new little rubber keepers. Now there is a top and a bottom with these discs. The ink mark should face away from your metal body. So I just try to wipe it away. Oh, yep, okay, ink's on top. So I know that that goes that way. And then I take these little guys and I just press right back through. Kind of get it at an angle. You got to be real careful with this. and I should probably get their special tool. I think that would make it a whole lot easier. But I don't do this very often, so I just kind of hold it with my thumb and try to push it through the metal without damaging the plastic. I've almost got it. You can flip it over and you can actually kind of pull it through a little bit. Just like that. Great. One more to go. You know it's working. You can see the little bubbles kind of in the check valves. It's got a good seal there. You can see that. Perfect. That's what you want. So now with your check valves in, you can go ahead and place this guy right on top there. We'll grab our new O-ring and go right there. The last pieces of our puzzle in the stack is our pulse block. You can peel this piece of plastic off. And I recently had a problem with one of these that it got real stiff. You can kind of hear what that one sounds like. And this is a new one. You can tell this old one isn't quite as flexible. So we're going to go ahead and replace that, but we got to get this paper gasket off too, and this is a real pain. These things tend to stick on here. So if you can get a corner started or something, just try to loosen it up. Try to get as much of it to come with it in one piece as possible. Not bad. I got a little cleaning up to do. I scraped and scrubbed on this for a while, and the rest of this is just on there. So, put the new paper gasket on. Put the new pulse plastic gasket, or plastic diaphragm on. And we'll add it to the stack. And tighten up the screws. The carbs are almost back together. Now let's talk about Popoff. This is a Popoff gauge. What you're going to want to do is apply pressure to the fuel inlet to the carburetor, and you're going to block off the outlet. And that's going to allow you to pump up pressure and wait and see when this needle overpowers the spring and pops. On this carburetor, this is the rear one. This is your fuel in, and this is your fuel out. So I'm going to go ahead and hook up my pump to the in. And I got these removable zip ties that I can tighten down. And then I just have this hose which is just kinked off and blocked. And I put that on the outlet. And zip tie that. Okay, now what you're going to want to do is lay the carburetor on its back like this. That way you can fill up this little area above the needle with WD-40. Just like that. Now, this thing makes a huge mess when it pops off, so I like to just cover the carburetor with a towel. And we will watch this gauge as I pump it up. 20, 30, 40, 50. It just cracked at 50. It doesn't necessarily work too well the first time. You kind of got to get a few through it. So there, I'm just tapping it with my finger and I can get it to pop. Put some more. I'll lift the needle up and really get some WD-40 in there. Make sure it's nice and wet. There's 10, 30, 40, that is popping just after 50. It's like between 50 and 55. Which is generally a pretty high pop-off, but that is usually what you want to go for if you're using a stock flame arrestor. So your pop-off is going to vary depending on what flame arrestors you're running. But that one seems decent to me. Bleed off all the pressure. Just do it one more time just for fun while we're doing it. Yep, right about 52 that time. Yeah, 52. Nice. Now on this carb, the fuel comes in here and then goes return here. So I'm going to block off the return. And I'm going to apply the pressure to the inlet side. And just like the other one, fill this with WD-40 here. Kind of tap on this, let some WD get down past the needle, and I'll cover it up. Try this again. There's 40, 50, right about 52. Sometimes it'll pop early. That one popped at like 48, 50, somewhere in there. It's not like super critical that it's in the exact same spot every time, so don't go pop off crazy on me, but just make sure you're in the range that you're looking for your tune. So that one's popping at 48 to 50, a little sooner that time. There's different things you can do to change your pop-off pressure. I'm not going to get into that in this video, but this is how you check it. Alright, we rebuilt these carbs. Last step is just put our diaphragms back on. Fresh diaphragms, just like that, and our cover plates. And tighten the screws down. And we can go put these on the jet ski and go for a rip. That's it for now, guys. I hope this helps you guys when you're working on your carburetors. If you guys want to talk more about tuning and settings and all that other fun stuff, let's do it. Drop it in the comments and I'll get back to you.